Hey guys, I'm sitting here with Tim Thomas. He is the owner and editor at the Second Scene magazine here in Pittsburgh, PA. His magazine is on issue 7, distributed worldwide. And thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Rocky. Appreciate it.
First, I want to talk about the SOSpgh concert series is being done to raise awareness and some money for the NEVA organization. I wanted to put people's faces to what we're trying to raise awareness of, and it's everybody in the music industry. So you're both a musician and you're an editor and you own your own magazine.
Right.
How has the last year affected you?
Well, personally, it started okay. I still work every day at my day job. Now as we hit the post-holiday season, it's dark, sun's going down early, setting in, you feel the strain, and I'm a person who naturally can be a little bit reclusive.
Yeah.
So staying home for me is okay, but I'm feeling it. So I wonder about friends, family, and other people that I've known around the scene that go out a lot. Yeah. They've got to be really feeling it. So there's that kind of like making phone calls instead of text messaging just to hear the human voice a little bit, making you feel better, sharing some stories. So.
But this magazine, I gotta tell you, man, you do some really good stuff with this magazine.
Thank you.
I was around from the beginning of this, and you just kept at it and kept at it, man. You're actually printing this in different countries.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit of that, or what countries this magazine is in?
First, we started off in Holland, in the Netherlands, and then through northern Germany. I was featuring some artists from the Klaus College outside of Amsterdam. And then one of the guys who I had featured in the magazine, he was interested in getting them around because his friends were in the magazine as well in future issues. So he's like, let's distribute this.
Yeah.
So then they basically bicycled them down to the local record stores. So it's in 3 cities in Holland, which would be Amsterdam, Arnhem or something, and the other one, well, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it at this point. And then it gets into northern Germany because it's right there. It'd be like us taking them over to Ohio, into their art centers and different music clubs over there. And then we moved on to England. Within the England, getting into the England record store, it's in the Rough Trade East, which is the famous hub of indie underground music going back to the 70s, post-punk, punk. You know, the Rough Trade, which would have been the distribution network, and that's where like the Buzzcocks put out the first record, Spiral Scratch. So it goes through there, so it's distributed to those things. So I'm lucky that we've gotten the Second Scene into that network.
Yeah,
that's really
cool.
Hopefully this next issue that they'll put into their satellite stores and other places. But currently it's in London, 2 places in London, Leeds, and a place in Glasgow.
And you do this all without charging.
It's a free magazine.
It's a free magazine.
Yeah, so I sell ad space. Yeah. And then I also put some of my own money into it because it's something I want to see grow. Yeah. And even if I lost all sponsorship, if people said, hey, times are tough, I would still go out and deliver some groceries to make my magazine happen.
That's a love of it for sure.
Yeah, it is, and that's why it works.
Dude, the way this is laid out, and it's from the beginning, from the first issue, I always said, I just love the way the black and white and the way you lay things out. It's done artistically. This is laid out like an artist laid it out. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what it's supposed to be, almost like a little collector's edition too.
Yes.
It's the same thing as putting out a 7-inch or 12-inch vinyl record.
Yeah.
You're going to put that time, you're going to put that effort into making it interesting.
Yes, exactly.
As opposed to just typewriter, which can be cool, the old zines. See, originally I started out, to make a long story short, I was rummaging through a box of stuff. And I come across old fanzines that one of my early bands was in the late 80s, early 90s. I'm thinking, this is a great idea. And I was originally going to do it as a fold-over, old-school fanzine. But a buddy that was in my first band, Bastard Squad, he works at Print Tech. So then we put it together, worked, and through the first issue that we really went through, we spent like weeks going through the feel of the page. Does the page feel right? Ridiculous things like that. But it matters.
But you're using the heavier stuff.
Yeah, so it matters. So we went through that, and they sort of kind of worked me through that. And that would be Dave Persh and Glenn Sebastian. Glenn Sebastian also used to be in Kids After Dark from the 80s.
Okay.
So, also local musicians, former local musicians.
And the Vault.
Kicking in to make it happen. And then Bob McCutcheon, the Vault, big sponsor from the very get-go. And I've known Bob going back to 1988 when he recorded my first band in his first studio for my band Bastard Squad. So Bob was there from the beginning.
And then we're putting your brother enough.
Yes.
Your brother, Terry Thomas, brought me over to the Vault to do a recording to play bass on one of his songs. From there on, man, it's a wonderful friendship that I got out of it, and I couldn't thank your brother, everything.
We take it even back another step. I was playing with my band Suburban Sect with Frampton Brothers at the Electric Banana, I think 95 or 96. Tom Yost come up to me, and they'd seen our band. We were talking about doing shows and stuff. He said, do you know a guitar player, bass player? I was like, my brother Terry Thomas. So he met Terry. The Ultimatics 4.
So it's actually you
yes,
that got this all going.
it's me and Bob McCutcheon.
Yes. You and Bob McCutcheon. Okay, how about this one? I'm going to throw this by. And it's going to be tough. This is the toughest question, I think, I ask anybody coming in here. Who are your favorite bands that have come out of the Pittsburgh area?
The Cynics. Half-Life. Well, Half-Life changed my life. City Limit Show, 1986-87, Government Issue, The Heretics, Half-Life. And I'd been a kid that had gone to arena shows, Iron Maiden, Motley Crue in the summer of '85, and seen a few other shows, but this was kind of a local show, underground. And to see Jeff Lamb from Half-Life bend that mic stand over like that, the opening set, full-on power of Marsh Rams. So right there with the full impact of rock and roll live as an underground thing that I didn't really know existed like that at that point in my life. So from there, we did the thing like everyone did in England after seeing the Sex Pistols. We formed a band, Bastard Squad. And that changed my life because then I was we met Todd Porter from Eviction, the Cheats, Spar Schmidt, used to be Necropolis. They were slightly older guys than me, but we were sort of the ragtag group of punk bands that kind of got to open shows for them at different places, but we learned how to do things from them. Putting together a fanzine, do the DIY ethic. That you don't need to go to someone else to do it. You do it yourself, put it together, use your own creativity. So I learned from that. That was the life-changing thing. And then the Cynics, because I got into more garage rock. I've always been a 60s psych fan, which my magazine also deals a lot with psychedelic, psych rock, garage rock. And then the Frampton Brothers with bands that we played so many shows with them, Ed Masley and Sean Lowry. Just those were the defining moments for me as growing up in Pittsburgh as a musician and just as a fan.
That's awesome. So coming up this year, shows are going to start back up.
They will.
Do you re-envision the way you're going to go see shows? Do you think things are going to change? What do you see the future of going to see a live show is going to be in the next year?
Pittsburgh music is not going to come to an end. I always see people talking online. It's over. It's coming to an end. And you hate to see clubs close under financial strain of something that's out of their control, of course. But as you know, it survives. It goes on. People will find a way. It will happen. It will continue on. Pittsburgh music. What will happen is people's creativity will come to the forefront at this point, as opposed to say maybe, let's just book a show. Now we got to be creative about it. We got to find a way, almost like a guerrilla style attack, putting on shows. And I think that will offer up some exciting shows because people are going to be hungry. Not only the bands, the fans, everybody. And that's the same thing with what you guys are doing with the SOS thing. You put the original, you got the song going out, and you've got that building around for support. Now you're doing something, you're taking it a step further with doing the concert series, which I think is an exciting thing, and that's what I like to see, because that's something people are going to tune into. Like watching a live concert show. But you know what I'm getting at? When you see like one of those concert films that you're getting a quick interview, the quick scenes behind what the bands are doing, and that sort of builds a little thing for the Pittsburgh scene too.
One of my favorite things is I'm involved with the Vault, and through the Vault I'm involved with you in the second scene, and through the Vault I'm involved with Grammy-winning producers, Jimmy Hoyston's over there, and then we started doing this song, and that got me involved with 28 other bands. Got us to do this live concert series out here now, and if this keeps going, I want to start including other bands into this, and different genres of music as well. I'd like to hear your opinion on it. I think that this city needs to start, the musicians need to start helping each other out, whether they're in different music groups or not. So if you're in rap, country, pop, rock and roll, metal, or whatever, I think if we did that in the city could turn into a really, I think, a major music city, because there's a lot of talent in the city.
There always has been.
So I wish through this whole pandemic, I think the one thing that I would love to see come out of it is people trying to help each other out.
Yeah, because you always hear the support the scene tagline, you're like, well, which one? Because you got an enclave over there, you got a pocket over here, you got here people over here, and you're like,
support the scene.
You know what I mean? There's always,
it's the whole scene.
It's building. You're kind of building, getting to know people. And hopefully through my magazine, we share it. So give and take, hopefully, spread the word back and forth between.
It's been getting better and better each issue, and keep an eye out for the second scene. You're watching the SOSpgh concert series. Thanks, Tim, for coming out and being involved.
Thank you.